Cat stream, cat stream. How is everybody? Ox and Jupit and Bolt and whoever else is up there in the chat that I can't see right now. And then Purple came in, so I can't say hi to Purple in the chat anymore. Messed it all up, Purple. And Ollie. Thanks everybody for coming by. Tonight I have a new guest I found recently on TikTok. This is Deacon James, and otherwise known as DJ. So everybody can just call him DJ. And what are your pronouns so we're all clear?
He, they, them.
He, they, them. Perfect. Okay. I am he, him, and Purple.
She, her.
There we go. Purple actually started their estrogen when right around the time I started. Like what, about a month and a half before me, right, Perps?
Yeah, it was only a month or so before you.
Yeah, but you were on like such a low dose and it wasn't doing anything, and then you upped yours, right? Or
yeah.
Changed
I still don't have anything as far as physical changes yet, but
right.
I started on such a low dosage that it took until I was on it about 8 months before my blood level was up to where they expected it to be.
Right. Yeah. See, that's the problem with like patches and creams is, you know, some people want a slower change and some of us want a faster one. So, yeah. I mean, my doctor started me on 50 milligrams of testosterone, and I was like, well, she was going to do 45, but then she realized the math was really hard on the needle. And she changed it to 50. And then I was like, 20, 25, really? Like most people start out on 30 or 60, you know, 0.60 or 30. And I was like, really? So I told her, I said, okay, I'm going to do this for a few weeks. And when my labs are fine and still really low, I'm going to go up to 60, whether you tell me to or not. Just so you know. I said, because that's where most people start. And she was like, yeah, okay, whatever. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in like 5 months. And I was like, 4 or 5 months. So, you know, I went and got my testosterone for the first time and had the little 4 packs, right? For 4 months worth. Right. And, or 3 of them, 3 months worth. And, the lady at the counter who was it? Someone said, well, you know, you can reuse those vials. There's more than one shot in there. And I was like, you know what? You're right. There are. So I already had alcohol because everybody's got alcohol in their house now because of COVID. Everybody has who doesn't have alcohol? Yep. Come on. Nobody. So I just started cleaning the top with alcohol and I reuse it and I get 2.5 shots out of every vial. So I buy 3 months worth and I have 6 months worth. So it's really dirt cheap for me. It's $50 for the year, basically. I don't think I get 6 months worth. I think I'm wrong. I think I got 4.5 months worth. So I only have to buy it 3 times a year instead of 4 times. So I'm not bitching. What'd you start out on, DJ? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Huh? Flip a coin.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, DJ.
Okay. My doctor started me on 100 milligram a week subdural shots.
Okay. So that's 50.50 ml or 50 ml.
Right.
Or no, 0.5. God, what is that? Shit, that always messes me up. The mg to mls, that totally screws me up. Yeah.
I draw it up to the 5, so it's like 100 milligrams.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. But that's probably good too, because the older we get, the more fight we have to do, I guess. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like that to me. Yeah. I notice quicker changes in younger people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, that's what my doctor said, that a lot of it had to do with my age, that, you know, for somebody doing it in their 20s, it probably would have taken hold a lot faster.
Right. Yeah.
I'm hello okay for with any change.
Right. Yeah. I'm actually pretty lucky because I had already been shaving my whole life because I'm fuzzy because I'm Italian, but the Irish, English, German part of me, I'm all white or almost such a pale blonde, it's almost white and gray. So nobody can see any of my facial hair. Like even in person, you really can't. And then I'm like, no, come over here. And somebody gets about 2 or 3 feet away and they're like, oh, wow, look. And I'm like, I know, but nobody can see it. So I walked into the store the other day and I looked at hair dye and I was looking at the Just for Men and I was like, And I was like, I don't know. That seems like I just feel like I'm cheating and I want to do it natural. You know, I just want the testosterone to do its job. So I didn't buy it. And I went over to my girlfriend's and she goes, you should have bought it. It's worth the $10.50. Just buy some shit. Just buy it and dye it. It's going to drive you nuts till you do. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Well, menopause has been very kind and giving me some stuff already. So, I mean, I got a little bit of a jump, you know?
Nice. Yes.
Like, not shaving that off.
I'm going to tell you, if I was my grandmother, because my grandmother, full-blood Italian, her parents came over through Ellis Island and met in Boston and fell in love and had 11 children. Because, you know, Italian, no abstinence, no prophylactics. You just make babies. So they made 11 babies. She was number 7. And they were actually from Mirabella and Eclano, which if you make a V off of Rome on a map like this, one's here, and they're about 100 miles apart. And they never met each other. They didn't know. They never known each other until they met in Boston and fell in love and just found out like, oh, hey, you're Italian. Hey, I'm single too. You know, they had a bunch of damn babies, but how did we get on that subject? How did that happen? Oh, the hair. Yeah, no, my Nana had like black facial hair. She had a fucking full on mustache. Like if I was her, I'd be shaving that, trying to make it come in thicker and putting like, you know, hair growth stuff on it and shit.
Well, and you know, I did for a while. So let's just shave it because it'll come in darker. And you know, not really, but it's there.
That's okay, buddy. You're here every time, like controlling the show and helping me. So it's fine. Take a day off. Yeah, that's my buddy Ben in the chat. So, yeah. So, how many shots have you done now, DJ?
Tomorrow will be 3. That's be my 3rd one.
So you just got.
Oh, you do it on Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
I do testosterone Tuesdays. I do it. I for a while. If you go back and look at my TikTok for a while, every week I posted something. Sometimes twice a week. Yeah. And then I kind of just, I don't know, the views started going down on it. So I just started like stitching some stuff and checking out other people's content and, you know, finding more people to follow kind of thing. And I haven't done much lately. Yeah. I
have a buddy that I work with that he is transitioning as well. And he started his testosterone about 8 months ago or so and just had top surgery about 2 months ago. So we do our shots together. 6 months?
What a lucky bastard. Oh my God.
So we do our shots together, you know.
Dr. Cross said the hot tea Tuesdays.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. That's what it is. Yeah, I would come on, I'd go on Neil's show on Tuesdays. And this is like right when I first started. I'm at, what did I figure out? 5. Oh no, today I'm at 6 months. Today is my 6-month mark.
Wow.
As a matter of fact.
Awesome. Congrats. Woo! Congrats.
So,
that's awesome.
Thank you. Damn, I am so ADD tonight. I should have taken my medicine. I apologize. Purple, what was I saying? Get me back.
You were saying about being on Neil's stream every Tuesday.
Oh, so I go on and I go, hey, Neil, do you know what night it is? It's Testosterone Tuesday. That's what night it is. And I did that for about 3 months till he was like, don't say it again, Beck. Just don't do it. He didn't say it.
I love Tuesdays now.
Yeah, I love Tuesday. You know, I've gotten used to doing it that I come home and I'll like sit down and I chill. And, you know, I smoke pot almost all day. I have PTSD and some other messed up shit. And it's the best thing for me at night to, you know, make me calm down. So with the ADHD and everything else. See, I cannot concentrate. I got to quit looking at the chat. I'm going to block you guys. I'm gonna move you over so I can't see the chat. I'm not even kidding. I keep looking at the chat. I'm getting totally distracted. And now DJ's like, yeah, lots of pot today. I'm back. No. That's not what it is.
I'm allergic to that. I wish I could, but
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, my life would be hell.
Yeah. It about killed me when I was a teenager. Yeah, so.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. It was bad.
Like anaphylaxis or what?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah. My brother's kind of allergic to it. Makes him trip like he took mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like he said there's 2 times in his life he tried pot and he told somebody, no, I don't want to try it again. Blah, blah. And they were like, oh, you probably got some bad stuff. I have all natural. I grew it myself. Try this. Both times he's standing solid in the middle of just standing there, blank stare. And he's in some other world in his head, half of it, and he can't move his body, and he's just frozen.
Wow.
And he's like tripping, and he can't move, he can't do anything, he can't drink. He said, people just leave me standing there. They don't even, because I'm standing up, they think I'm fine. And I'm like, dude, like they just left him stand there in the middle of a party for like an hour, and he couldn't move. So yeah, there's some people have allergies to it. It's true.
Oh,
yeah. So, what was the thing? What was the thing, DJ, that made you go, that's it, damn it, I'm doing this?
Well, I tried when I was with my ex, this was like 20, 25 years ago. I told her, I said, you know what? I really want to transition. And she did not take it very well. She broke up with me because of it. And it was just, it was a horrible, horrible time. And so that just totally, it devastated me. And then, back in that closet I went. It's like, okay. And it's just been in the last couple of years that I've felt, I'm single and I'm happy single right now because it frees me up to really pursue myself.
Good for you.
And
good for you. Sometimes we need that break. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you.
Absolutely. I knew when I was 5.
That's what I told people. What happened to you when you were 5? Tell me the story. I want to hear it. I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, I was okay. I was at a family reunion, and how all the women would go in the kitchen and do baking shit, and then the men would go outside and mess with the cars or trucks or whatever and do the man thing. And I was in the living room, and I walk up to my mom in the kitchen, and all these female relatives are around, and I put my hands on my hips, and I looked at my mom, and I said, I'm supposed to be a boy. Her face turned beet red, and she yelled at me and told me to get my little butt back in that living room. And I went in, I was crying and bawling, and nothing was ever said since then. So from the beginning, I was shamed for even feeling how I felt.
Well, of course, right. Yeah.
And that led to, it led to a lot of self-harm and, some mental health issues as I was growing up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's where it started.
Well, I could never realize, it never dawned on me until about a year ago why I was so miserable as a teenager. I couldn't figure out why I was depressed all the time. And I was like, my life was pretty good, right? We didn't have a lot of money, but my mom always, she'd save up money and buy me school clothes. So I had newer stuff. And I ended up wearing my brother's hand-me-downs anyways, which were great because it was all guy clothes. And I fucking loved it. But we were so poor. That's what I wore. My mom didn't say anything. She was just like, well, that's fine. I don't have anything. I can't buy anything. I'm poor. I'm broke. Yeah. She was barely paying bills. She was selling food stamps to pay the electric bill. That's how broke we were. So we were eating out of the garden and stuff. And then she ended up having to work 2 jobs. And it was everything was just nuts. So when I was a teenager, I was like, why am I that depressed? But that's what it was. So here's my story. Me and my brothers were out playing in the woods. And I was 5, they were 8 and 9. And you guys all know one of them. Richard was the 8-year-old. And we're all out in the woods playing and everything. And I didn't have any toilet paper or anything on me. And I had to go to the bathroom. Well, I had to go all the way back down to the house. By the time I got all the way down the hill, through the field, and back to the house, I was pissed off. I was mad. It's like, this is bullshit. And I was thinking about, this is bullshit. Why do I have to walk all the way back to this bathroom? This is not fair. So I walked in the kitchen and I said, I'm mad. And when I was little, when I was that big, my mom said I used to go, I'm mad, like that. So imagine a little 2 to 5 year old going, I'm mad. So I went, I'm mad. And I'm walking to the bathroom and I'm, my arms are out and I'm kind of strutting pissed off. And my mom goes, why are you mad? And I said, because I should have a penis. And she goes, oh. And I walked in the bathroom and nothing was ever said about it again. Yep. But she told me that story at some point. And the more I think back, I go, fuck, she was trying to just tell me to tell her. She knew. And I was so dense, and she died when I was 18. But I was so dense to it and had no clue what was going on around me, probably because of my ADHD and everything else going on in my head and depression and everything. Because I was trying to date guys and then they want to have sex with me and I ditch them and I go date someone else. Be like, ew, no, don't have sex with me, please. That's disgusting. It was horrible. It was horrible in my 20s having sex with guys. Eventually there was a few of them I had to just I was like, okay, I'm just a dickhead at this point. What am I doing? Am I going to date a guy or not? So I gave in a few times and had sex with some of them and I was just repulsed. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking horrible.
It's so wrong.
This is horrible. Lipstick on a pig, and a dress on a pig. That's what it felt like. But yeah, no, that was my first time and when she told me that, I was like, huh, that's weird. And I just walked away like it was no big deal. And then I thought, boy, I was pretty smart at 5 years old. What happened?
No.
What about you, Purple? What was your first thing that made you go,
It's hard for me to remember back that far. And honestly, I don't remember most of my childhood. But
yeah, well.
I do know that, early on, first and second grade in school, all of the, things of, asking what you want to be when you grow up. I was always getting scolded because I was picking things that were a girl's job.
Oh my God, Purple. But you're at that age too. How old are you now, Purple, if you don't mind saying?
Well, that was in the early 70s.
Right. See, you couldn't do that back then. It was women were just raking.
Yeah.
Think about how long it took. Women started doing men's jobs in World War II. My Nana did it. She worked at the Boston Harbor and she welded Navy ships in the end of 1942 into 44, I believe. And then the troops started coming back and all the women were going back home and they offered to keep her. And she goes, no, I don't think this is right for me, but thank you. I enjoyed working here and I made some decent money and now I can take care of my newborn kid and now 1.5 year old kid. And then she went off about her way and did other stuff. But it was a different time back then. And it took us from World War II to the 80s where women could start doing men's jobs, 70s.
I do remember.
That's crazy. That's
40
fucking years.
I do remember when I was 9 or 10 years old that, it came up as a newspaper item because it was so novel then about this concept of role reversal, that some of the men were staying home to take care of the kids and their wives were getting office jobs.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's the kind of partner I need to find. I'll stay home.
You go
I'll
work.
Take
I'll
care
stay
of
home
the
with
kids. I'll clean the house. You go to work.
Hey, Purple. I wonder how many men back then, back when that shit started, that were straight are now out as gay or trans or something. I would love to see the statistics on that. If I could find, I'm too ADHD. I would never look that up. But if anybody ever decides to get bored and they want to look it up, let me know what you find. Because I would love to know. Because when I was in grade school and middle school and high school, I dated I dated a bunch of guys because I was not wanting to have sex with any of them. But there was most of them from the whole time I was in school, most of them ended up being gay. So I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that of all the people, we picked each other. You know, like that's who I'm comfortable with.
Well, and
I mean, we
I've
were
always been
little.
able to
My
cook and
first
sew better.
boyfriend I met in kindergarten, 3 months into kindergarten. I had that boyfriend until I was in like 5th grade. And we just kind of wandered apart. And then we went to different, I went to a different middle school than him. And we just, we didn't ever saw each other again. But he's gay. And I found him a few years ago on Facebook. And he was like, oh, by the way, don't tell anybody because I still live in West Virginia and I'll get killed, but I'm gay. And I was like, shut the front door. That's another one.
Yep.
Some guy, 2 guys in my 20s I dated, gay now. Been with men for years, happy. Just blows my mind. I mean, how many, and I, for a while, I would joke and go, hey, to guys that hit on me back when I identified as a lesbian. Guys would hit on me. I'd say, you don't want to date me. And they go, why? And I'm like, because I turn men gay. But I mean, realistically, there was some kind of kinship. There was some connection there. It's kind of like when you're a lesbian, and you're walking down the street and you see another lesbian couple and you're like, hey, you know, happy for you too. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like I'm driving down the road in my Chevy pickup and I see somebody else in a Silverado and we go, hey, what's up? It's the same thing. We just find that connection with that person. We feel comfortable with them. But when you're little, you don't like my point is that people say it's a choice. But why at the age of 5 years old was I attracted to that one little scrawny, quiet, I was loud and all over the place. And he was just this quiet little timid blonde hair, blue-eyed boy that was just average looking. But for some reason, out of the whole class, he was the one I wanted to spend time with. And he was magnetic to me too. It was like we just came together. And it was just like that for years. And I think we kissed one time. He kissed me. And that was it. And he was a perfect gentleman. I should have known he was gay. He never tried to get down my pants. Oh, but I just find it psychologically interesting. What's that?
Yeah, I dated one of those too. A guy in high school.
Oh, did you?
And
really? He ended up being gay?
He was just like, found out after he became adult, it's like he was gay. It's like, oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I was dating this one guy in Florida. This is really funny because his name was Brett. He was the nicest guy in the world. Kind of, you know, bookworm nerdy, you know, tried to act a little cooler than he was, but he was a good guy down deep. And we were friends. We ended up like working I actually got fired because of him when I was pregnant because I had been RAPED. And so I was pregnant and I was working at 7-Eleven and I got further along and Brett kept hitting on me and I didn't even notice it. And the manager had a thing for him and she fired me. So then I couldn't get a job because I was like 7-8 months pregnant. So by the time I had my child, I was like starving. And then I bumped into him again a couple months after, I want to say like 8 or 9 months after I had her. And we tried to date because I figured, well, he's safe. He's a nice guy. He's really quiet. And, you know, he won't be a jerk to me, at least. He's very respectful. So I started dating him just because I felt like I was so alone. You know, I was young. I was fucking 20, almost 21 years old. And I came home from work one day, like 2 or 3 hours early because it was slow and they didn't need me. And I caught him and the gay guy next door or across the way. They were in the living room together with only t-shirts on. And I opened the door and I went, oh, and I closed it. And I walked over by the railing and lit a cigarette and he came out and he was like buckling his pants. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I said, it's okay. And he's like, no, I mean, oh my God, I feel so bad right now. But, and I was like, go ahead, Brett. He goes, I'm gay. And I was like, don't tell anybody or I'll kill you, but I am too. That's why I don't want to have sex with you. And he was like, oh, I feel better. So we walked away friends.
Nice.
Yeah. And I talked to him a couple years later and he was like, hello, like flaming. And I was like, oh my God, you're one of those, you know, because the flaming ones, I can only take so much. But he was with this guy and they'd been together for a couple of years already. And they were fucking happy. So I was just happy for him, you know?
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
But then again, I wasn't attracted to him. He wasn't decent. He wasn't good looking. He was a little chubby. He was just plain Joe on the street. You wouldn't recognize him in a crowd kind of person. But yet I was attracted to him, like pulled towards him. Right. And I just think it's happened so many times in my life. It's crazy. Like I would love to go back and get a hold of every person and go, are you gay now? Because I feel like almost all of them are.
That would be interesting to see. Let's do it.
Would it be like just statistically, just the psychology and everything behind it would be interesting. Yeah, kind of, Tubi. And we kind of were kind of like platonic. I mean, we had sex like twice, but we were together for months. Like people that get together and are 21 and 22 years old. I think he was a year older than me. They don't just not have sex when they get together. We rarely did. And it was like not anything. And we would just stop, basically, is what was going on. So yeah, kind of like platonic friends. Yes, John, agreed. It is so not a choice. So not a choice. My entire life, I have always been like the guy. I've always hung out with the guys. I've never felt comfortable hanging out with a bunch of women. I feel comfortable with it now because I'm being my true self, so it doesn't bother me anymore. But it was always very awkward for me to try to put on, I'd be sitting there in jeans and a t-shirt and they have like dresses and makeup on, their hair's done. And I'm sitting there with a baseball cap going, the fuck am I doing with these people? Yeah. Like that's because I've dressed my true self ever since high school because I had access to my brother's old clothes and I looked fucking good in them too. And I loved sporting them. I loved it. It was an excuse, mom was, oh, I don't have any money. That's okay. I'll just wear Richard and Keel's old clothes. It's fine. Really. Oh, I don't want you to, no, it's okay, mama. I think they're comfortable. It's fine. So, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Well, I never wanted to hang out with the boys. And the stuff that they would brag about, I was always like, you're proud of that shit?
Are you gay now? No, actually, JR, for the first time in my life, I can say I'm straight. Because I only date women. So now I can actually say I'm straight for the first time in my life. I hid underneath that lesbian umbrella for exactly 20 years. Like almost to the month. I decided to I told everybody I was transitioning in August last year, and I started on September 7th, and I had previously came out of the closet in 2001 on June, oh my God, I want to say it was like 3rd or 8th or 9th, first or second week of June. So almost exactly 20 years. Wow. I hit under the lesbian label. So.
Yeah, and I have a very long history of attracting lesbians. I mean,
that's
just
because you're naturally more feminine, Purple. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't interested in the macho stuff. And, well, for one thing, I'm sure somebody more than once, guys had made the thing of, it's because you're, the safe guy. And, and it's like, yeah. And for some reason, a lot of guys thought that was a bad thing, that women thought I was safe to be around.
Well, because they see that as not masculine enough. If women want to hang out with you and they don't want to fuck you, then you're not masculine. They have to want to fuck you. That's it. That's the cishet typical, stereotypical like white dude thought right there. Bam. Yeah, it's true. But we're all lucky. Everybody that's trans is lucky. And everybody that's trans that I know, when they're with someone, that person is so happy. And do you know why? Because we know what it's like. We know what it's like. We transition and we know what it's like to be the other sex, so we treat that other sex good. There's a guy on TikTok named Aiden. He's a trans guy. And he said, you guys want to be better, your women? This is what you do. He said, in my glove box right now, there's about 4 tampons and a few panty liners. Because you never know if they're out with you, what might happen. So why put them in that awkward position to have to ask you for it? They start acting uncomfortable. Hey, if you need anything, there's stuff in the glove box. And that's what he does. It's shit like that. Cishet men don't go out and cis men do not go out and buy tampons to leave in their truck for what, in case a woman's with them and needs one. Yeah. See, there's little perks and advantages, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole tampon thing is just such a big issue to men. It's, you know, I never got it because it's like, you know, if I was with a woman and she needed that stuff, you go out and buy it. It's no big deal. It's like toilet paper. You know, but
I mean,
guys
it really is
so hung up about even just going down that aisle in the store.
I know. I used to have this boss, Purple, you'll love this. His name was Al. Al McDougal is his name. And he is this 6'4", this wide, good old country boy. His fingers are like sausages. He has so much muscle because he's worked with his hands his whole life. He's like 62 at this time, I think. No. He had just turned 57, actually. He had just turned 57. He's 62 now. He had just turned 57, and we were talking about like how guys are weird about shit. And I said, yeah, like guys are so weird about tampons, huh? I said, not that I want to go buy them for myself or anything, you know. And this is like 5-6 years ago. And he goes, oh, I don't care. He goes, I got 3 daughters and a wife. I'm the only guy in the household. He said, I'll walk up to the front and be like, here, I just need these tampons for my girls. Like, he said, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. He said, I've been going out and buying those things for 40 some odd years. It doesn't bother me a bit.
That is a sign that he's very secure in his manhood, that he's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because
like if you're intimidated by a tampon, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you know, exactly. It's like I agree. I also wonder about the guys that are like that and they're homophobes.
Yep.
I wonder if they are secretly bisexual because they're so homophobic. And the reason I say that is because before I admitted I was a lesbian, I was homophobic. And the only reason I was homophobic was because I was afraid if I hung around with them, someone would equate me to them and then realize I was gay. And I was so afraid of that in my 20s that I was like, oh, trans person, oh, gay person, get away from me. You know, I was an asshole because I was so afraid of one of them outing me and going, oh, you date women, don't you? Like, because you know they're going to know. I knew who the gay people were.
Yeah.
I knew which ones to avoid. So that means they know me. They know I'm one of them, and I don't want to be around them. I don't want them to tell. You know, I was scared to death of it. Oh. So
now, see, I missed all that
because now I just tell everybody, "Yep, I'm trans. How are you?" You know, I don't fucking care. Go ahead, Purple.
I missed all that because I never, you know, not only was I never straight, I never realized that's the way you were supposed to be. See, nobody talked about sex with me until I was 16, and it was already too late. I'd already had a girlfriend and a boyfriend by then, so the noose to me was like, you're supposed to choose one or the other?
Oh, you mean I did it wrong?
Yeah, it's just, you know, that was the first time it ever came to my attention that everybody didn't have fun with both.
See? And oh, not just that, Dr. Cross, but also Dr. Cross said, and they wash their asses correctly and often. Ha ha ha. No, not ha ha ha. Let me tell you something. I am so funny about that. And I don't know if it's from being raised female or what, or maybe I'm just because I want my body clean. I shave my butt because when you start getting testosterone and your butt gets really hairy, no, I want mine clean. I shave it. Nope. I'm not. Nope. I'm not walking around smelling like my ass got some funk in it. Nope. I'm not doing it. And it starts. And let me tell you what, DJ, in about 4 months, you're going to be like, oh, crap. I have a lot of ass hair. It just pops out of nowhere. It did with me in bed at about 4 to 5 months.
That would be one of the things I'm not looking forward to.
Right. People are like, how do you shave your ass? I'm like, oh, it's easy. You just reach like this and then around this other leg. You're fine. That's right, Jupit. No poop hair for me. I remember dating guys that like, I'd be like, dude, that's nasty. And I would ditch them in a hot freaking second. Ugh. I just can't. I like to be clean. Jupit. Men who get grossed out by feminine products need to get one shoved up there.
Yeah, well, I also had 5 sisters, so it's kind of like, yeah, that stuff was all over the house growing up anyway.
Seriously, Dr. Cross? Are you kidding me? Okay, yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
We never
That's
talked
great.
about stuff like that growing up. Oh, no. You did not.
Oh, no,
discuss-
I know, right? It
No.
was taboo.
Oh,
well,
you-
nobody talked about it, but the stuff was always there. Nobody ever discussed what it was for.
Yeah, like the boys could talk to their brothers or their best friend, and the girls could talk to their sisters or their best friend, and no one else. That was it. You don't tell anybody that you talked about it either.
No, I have one
Well-
sister, and she taught herself. My mom didn't even teach her, and I learned by watching my sister. And it's like, but no one ever talked about it or anything.
Yeah.
No one ever taught me much of anything growing up. There were always a dozen people in the house, and I grew up neglected. I still feel I was mostly raised by the cats.
Cats.
That explains a lot, Purple. Why your sleep pattern's weird. Why?
Yep.
why you want to hang out with cats all the time and not people. Why? I don't know. I can think of some more, I'm sure, if you gave me a few minutes.
Yeah, I have a lot of odd behaviors that fit into that.
Wait a minute, Tubian, somebody says wait a minute. He said, I don't know where the idea that wiping is gay comes from. When I was little, I was taught when you poop, you clean yourself. Sexuality didn't come into it. Who the hell said that? Like,
Yeah,
guys,
no,
is
I
that
had
why
heard-
they don't wipe their ass right? They think it's more manly to have shit. Oh,
Ew.
so glad I'm not a cis dude now. If that's the way it goes, I'm not interested.
No.
And
JR.
Dr. Cross said about them leaving skid marks on the bed. And yeah, I guess there is something about that, about, men leaving skid marks on things. And yeah, I don't see how you could go around like that. It would feel gross all the time.
I mean, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but when my butt or something's, you feel it. How do you not know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's uncomfortable or a little itchy. Maybe I should wash it. Okay. Yeah. And I know that because I was in the army and there was times you could not wash properly for weeks. You were using like water out of your canteen and an old fucking face cloth and hoping you cleaned yourself halfway decent. So I know what it's like to feel disgusting.
I've always been kind of dismayed that bidets never caught on in the U.S.
I know, right?
I wish we
Shouldn't
had them in
everybody
every
have
home.
one? Yeah. I mean, I know guys now that have it, like Mikey Famine, and he's like, man, that is the best thing in the world.
We have one where I work, but it's the only bidet on campus. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Wow.
I love it. Just being real. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've never tried one. I was at someone's house one time that had a bidet and I looked at it and I was like, no, I'm not trying that. Knowing me, I would get water all over me, have it all over my shirt and my pants, and walk out like, hey, tried out the bidet. So I wasn't going to do that because it was like a really ritzy, freaking formal dinner party. And I felt awkward anyway. So I just kind of looked at it and said, nah, I'm not trying that shit right now. I know me. I'm a klutz. I'd like fall in the toilet or something. I don't know.
No. You wouldn't fall in the toilet. You wouldn't. I promise.
You don't know me yet, DJ. I swear to God. I'm a klutz. I would fall in the toilet. As Red Fox said, if you love someone, wash your ass. Red Fox said that. probably don't doubt that he did say that.
Yeah, I'm very aware of the guys who don't clean properly. Just I guess any kind of that masculine odor will really put me off. And I mean, I've got chronic sinus problems anyway, so if I actually smell something coming off of anyone, I figure it must be pretty strong.
I see. I'm the opposite. I've had sinus problems my whole life, but when my nose is clogged up, I'm happy, honestly, because I am like a super taster, super smeller. And if I walk into a bathroom after someone or something, or someone smells funky, I'm telling you, 5 to 10 feet away, I can smell a woman when she's on her period. I'm not kidding you. I know if she walks by me, or I'm downwind or anything, or I get within so many feet of her, like less than 5 feet away, I know every woman that's on their period and when they are. I can smell it.
That's like a superpower.
It's weird and it sucks. Like I can't eat really like strong fishy stuff. Oh my God, it grosses me out. It smells like a rotten barrel of fish to me. It's too overwhelming for me. I can only eat mild like white fishes. Anything else grosses me out. I can't do raw sushi because of it. I mean, it's like really hampers my palate of things I would like to try. Like I tried to bite a fish one time and it wasn't the taste and it necessarily slightly the taste, and it wasn't the texture, but the smell of it in my mouth. I spit it out and I went and rinsed out my mouth, and then I ran downstairs to the bathroom of the place I was at, and I vomited a little bit. Like I can't. I just can't. It's so weird.
I was always around it growing up, and just a lot of my grandpa and my uncles and brothers going fishing all the time. I never wanted to go. They always wanted me to go with them.
Yeah.
But just because of getting ones that were like fresh caught, that they'd been swimming in the lake the same day, that if any fish is just a little bit off, if it's been in the fridge for a day too long, it's like, yeah, I'll pick that up right away, and I can't.
Yeah.
Then just
and I smell stuff. Like I'll smell something that's been in the fridge and it's off. I can smell it's just going off. And the other person, whoever's around me, will be like, "Oh, it smells fine to me." And I'm like, "Nah, man. Like either you need to cook the shit out of this, or we need to throw it out. Like it's right there. It's about to go over the edge. So you need to pick." No, you can't do rare. Well cooked or throw it in the trash. That's all you got.
Well, my sense of smell often doesn't work well, but it really comes to the point that I actually taste strong odors.
Well, see, that's where it's a double whammy with me. If I bite into something that has a bad taste to it, or it's going bad, not only do I taste it, but I smell it. And if I smell something that's going bad, I literally can taste it like I took a bite out of it. So it's really, people are like, "You should quit smoking. Your taste buds and your sense of smell will be better." And I'm like, "What are you trying to do? Ruin my life? Fuck that. I don't want to quit smoking if I'm going to get more sensitive. I seriously don't want to." And I can actually play games with people. People will make dishes and I'll go over their house and I'll be like, oregano, basil, I sage or thyme, I'm not sure, salt, pepper, and I'll name off, and they'll be like, "Oh, you missed one." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's a marketable skill, though.
I had wondered if I should go be like those taste tester people for companies for their new food, but what if it's bad? And I don't like processed food. Like,
well, see, the other thing though, if you can pick out like the individual herbs and seasonings like that, then it's a very marketable thing to be able to reverse engineer the recipes.
Ooh,
yeah, I knew you were going to say that. It just dawned on me. Yep. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. See, it's the only skill I have besides remembering numbers. I got nothing else.
I can't smell. I can't smell a thing. I mean, well, I can. It has to be like really strong.
Really?
When I was doing drugs in my teenage years, I kind of blew out my nose with the cocaine, and it's.
Oh yeah, you're at
like,
that age range. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Everybody was doing coke back then. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
True.
I've been clean and sober for 24 years now.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I think about it once in a while, but I would never go back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. You know, when I was in my early 20s and everybody was doing all the crazy drugs and stuff, I mean, I tried like cocaine and I did, but back when it was real cocaine and not like crack, but I did crack cocaine. It was just free base with baking soda. It was real cocaine. Now it's just about a bunch of household cleaners. Not the same thing at all. But I tried that, and you know, I never did anything injecting. I never did like anything hard. You know, I ended up with someone put some angel dust back when I was a teenager on some weed, and I found out I'm allergic to angel dust. I got so violently sick. And like one or two, I think maybe I took 2 hits off of it. And about 30 minutes later, I started feeling really sick. I was curled up on the couch and I drove there. So I had no way to get home because I had no one to drive me. And I'm curled up on the couch for like 6.5 hours, like vomiting into a bowl. It was the weirdest shit I've ever had happen to me in my life. I've never found anything else I'm allergic to. I guess I should put that in my medical record. Angel dust. I'm allergic to angel dust.
Just in case they want to give you some, right?
Just in case somebody goes, hey, do you want some angel dust on some weed? Yeah. No, I really don't. But I never did like any of that. You know, I've never done like meth and the new version of crack, or I tried ecstasy a couple times. That's good if you're like young and you want to have some really good sex, but just know that it's going to taint sex for you for the rest of your life if you're going to do it, because nothing's as good as when you're on ecstasy. Your physical senses are so heightened, everything feels good. Somebody rubs your arm and you're like, oh, like you almost get off. So like, seriously, don't do it unless you want it to ruin sex for you, because I did it twice and now I'm like, oh, well, it'd be nice to try that again and have sex. No, I actually have a great sex life. I shouldn't say that, but it changes it for you. It really does. Oh, Dr. Cross is doing a weed allergies, as in marijuana allergy. Is that what you're talking about? New video on my channel soon. We have a girl at work who keeps trying different migraine meds, and her migraines still are there. They kind of like take the edge off, but it doesn't really get rid of it. And so my girlfriend says to her, try weed, try like CBD or something. She was like, okay. So she tried it and she was like, man, that's better than any migraine med I've ever tried. That really worked. And it had no THC in it. It was just CBD.
Oh, good.
So JR Cleat, I used to work at a feed mill. For what kind of animals? I did chickens. I had that job for a hot minute. I was actually, JR, I was the batch operator at a feed mill for a chicken farm, for an egg farm, actually, that had, oh my God, how many chickens did they have? 1.4 million chickens.
Wow.
So, you were at a chicken farm. How interesting. Is it in the middle of Ohio, JR? Do I know you? I might. I mean, I don't know. Met a lot of guys there. Oh, anyways.
I thought the entire middle of Ohio was just one giant chicken farm.
No, it isn't. It's actually a lot of corn and soybeans, actually. The rural part of Ohio is full of corn and soybeans. And you have like some chicken farms, and you'll have some, there's like horse stables and horse farms, and it's actually it's actually beautiful out there. The winters suck because that cold coming down from the Great Lakes is vicious, whipping through Ohio. You get some really nasty weather there, but it can be a really beautiful place to live. It's just, you get outside the city where it's really pretty and it's full of a bunch of backwoods redneck who don't like anybody and vote for Trump. And that's one of the reasons I left.
Kind of sounds like Iowa.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of, and people just talk about places like that, but really it's all the states. You get into the rural areas and people are uneducated. They don't have internet, or they don't watch TV, or they're farmers, or I don't know. They just had some shitty public school education. I don't know. But it's in almost every single state. You get that. The further out in the country you get, the more redneck, racist, Trump breeders you end up with. Like that's just how it is. And it's all over the United States.
Well, yeah, because the public schools are paid for by property taxes. So the areas that have a low population density have pretty crappy schools.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Nailed it, Perps. Nailed it. And, it's not like, what gets me is it's not like when we were all young and you had 3 channels, and you had to go to the library to read anything, because you only had so many books at home. You had dictionaries, and everybody had a dictionary and a set of encyclopedias.
Yep.
I did. Encyclopedia Britannica. Anybody else?
Yep.
Anyways, see, you got to have that one. Oh no, I'm sorry. I lied. That was not true. That's what was at my dad's house. My mom had Collier's, and she bought it off of a man selling encyclopedias door to door in Virginia.
Yep. We had the World Book encyclopedias.
Yep.
We had
but
like
these
an
days
older
you
set
can
of...
just Google everything. How are people so uneducated? You know why? Because there's so many people out there spreading misinformation about good people that everybody's starting to follow the bad people because they don't know any better. And it's so sad and fucked up. But how do you battle that? It's a constant battle. I know hundreds and hundreds of people between YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and everything else that fight stupid every day, and yet it still prevails. So how do you just...
Well, because we have a political party who is actively promoting it.
I know, but how do you stop stupid?
Yeah.
Literally drain the swamp? Like,
they
is that
want
where
to
you
keep
start at?
people
Government
stupid
level?
because they don't want them to start asking questions about what the politicians are actually doing.
I would love to get everybody over the age of 50. Yes, I'm setting the bar to 50. I would love to get anybody that's in government over the age of 50 the fuck out of there. And start fresh with the younger generations, because the younger generations are more informed. They are more politically minded. They know what it's like to have nothing. And the ones that don't, most of them are considerate of people that have nothing because they understand it. Like my girlfriend, she takes her kids ever since they were little and old enough to stand up by a table. She takes them for like Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they feed the fucking hungry. And she helps cook, and she makes them help. And now it's like a thing. They love to do it. They love to do it because they're giving something back, and they're helping poorer people some way because they know they have it. They know they're well off. They know damn well they have it good. So, you see, I'm right. I told you. Thank you, sir, for backing me up. I appreciate that. Anyways, I don't even know where I was going now.
Maybe we just need to get all the humans out.
Right? No doubt. Just let the animals take it back over. They'd fix it quicker than we would. There wasn't a big problem with our environment back when it was more animals than people.
Well, dogs certainly have a much greater capacity for self-sacrifice than almost any humans do.
Oh, fact. True loyalty. True loyalty.
Yep. Yeah, they see another dangerous animal, they'll jump between you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Our dog was badass. She'd sit on the front. We'd all be out back in the garden. She'd sit on the front steps in case somebody came up. And I didn't know when I was little, I didn't know where she went. I thought she just went off running around somewhere. The dog took off. Maybe she saw a rabbit, but people who had reported they would come up, try to walk up to our front door, and she'd be sitting on the steps like, and she was a German Shepherd, she was smaller, like 70, 75 pound German Shepherd. And she'd just be sitting there like, just hanging out on the farm. And they go to walk past her, and she'd slowly put her mouth down and just barely grab their leg with her teeth just so they felt it. And they'd stop. Oh, the dog doesn't want me to go by. And they'd pull back, and she'd slowly pull back. And then as they got down the bottom of the steps, backed up away from her, just hanging out on the farm again. She didn't bark or anything. She just was like, hey, this is my house, and you're not going to just walk into it. That's all. She was a great dog, though. I'm telling you, that dog was fucking amazing. If somebody was crying, she would immediately go over to them and lean on them and put her head on your leg if you're sitting there, and she'd look up at you and whine real quiet. And she'd get up. I remember crying on the edge of my bed one time, and she got up behind me and like leaned against my back. And I was like, oh my God, she's trying to hug me. Like my dog is trying to hug me and doesn't know how. But that's what she would do. She was amazing. Loyal. Very loyal. I got in a fist fight one time in 8th grade because she was born when I was 4. And then we put her down when I was 18. She couldn't walk anymore and she couldn't see anything. And it was really sad. So, German Shepherd hip dysplasia they get. She couldn't, I had to carry her inside and hold her while she peed. And we're like, this is a farm dog who can't move. Like, she's got to be miserable. And she just looks sad all the fucking time. But anyways, is that all you have to say, sir? Okay, that's enough. I forgot what. God, I'm so ADD. Somebody shoot me. Purple, next time I go to stream, can you remind me to take my fucking Adderall, please? Seriously. I'm getting distracted in like 2 seconds. Rats will give their life to save another rat. Cool.
You are not talking about cats enough. That's why you're getting the protest.
I know. I was talking about a dog. He's mad. If I pet an animal, because people bring in their dogs into work, they'll bring in these little dogs. And there was this puppy. Somebody brought it in, and I was like, oh, give me the puppy. So it was a Chihuahua puppy. So it was real little and cute. And so I'm holding the dog, and it's laying on me like this, and I'm scratching its belly, and it's just doing this and looking around. I'm like, this is what my cat does. So I come home, and they smell me, and they're like, where have you been? Yeah, it's true.
Charles says dogs have more empathy than cats. I'm not sure about that.
I know. Why, Purple? Tell me why, and then I'll tell you why. Because I've been talking a lot.
Oh, I've lived with cats my whole life, and they can tell. Well, when I was living alone before, and I had 2 cats, Tasha and Molotov. And when I got sick, Tasha would sit on the bed with me the whole time. And when she had to get off to go use the litter box and eat, she hissed at Molotov to get him up onto the bed, that you're going to get up there and you're going to stay with him until I get back. You are not to leave him alone.
That's great. That's great. Hey, I passed out after I came here because I didn't realize when you go like 9,500 feet higher in elevation than what you've lived your whole life, that after you're there for a while, you get really dehydrated and you'll pass out. So I did that when I first came here, and I luckily fell. DJ, since you don't know, I live in a tiny home, so there's not a lot of floor space. I have 78 square foot of living area, and then my bed and my garage and stuff in the back. So I fell. The only place I could lay down flat and straight in this entire place and not hit anything. I don't know how I got that lucky, but I woke up and my cats were over top of me, like sniffing at me, like, "Are you okay?" Like they were like, "What the fuck?
You dead?
What are you?
Yes.
Why are you just laying there like that? You need to get up. You're not supposed to be asleep right now. You're supposed to sleep up there. What are you doing?" Thank you, Spooky. So I feigned taking the dog for a walk down to the park. This fight was planned out. We were the 2 most hard-ass, toughest people in the whole entire school, and people pit us against each other and made up a bunch of lies, which we didn't know until way after the fight, of course. So we planned this fight, and the whole fucking school showed up, and I used the excuse of, I'm going to walk the dog down to the park. And that girl wanted to come after me. I said, oh, no, wait. And she goes, what? And she's like 10 feet away from me. She goes, what? And I said, let me tie my dog up. And she goes, I don't give a fuck. And I said, you will give a fuck about this dog in a second. Let me tie the dog up. I tied the dog up on one of the light poles by the basketball court. And we were fighting about 50 to 70 feet away. And when I got done fighting, there was a semicircle in our direction. The grass, there was no grass left. My dog tore the grass up trying to get free of that leash because she was going to, which I tore the girl up anyway. So I didn't really need the dog's help. But anyways, the point is, I mean, I really did kick her ass. It was bad. It was like a 15, 20 minute knockdown, drag out. We were both exhausted at the end fight. So it was definitely, people got their thrill out of it. But that dog, if that dog got loose, that girl would have been done. She would have been done. And her two buddies that tried to hold me while she was punching her, they would have been done too. Or while she was punching me. Yeah. Dogs don't play around. Oh, Purple, you should have just said it. If I had a room, I would have both dogs and cats, but stuck in such a small apartment, it would be just cats, dogs. Yeah, you know, and that's one of the reasons I never got a dog. Because first of all, I work a lot. I'm a freaking workaholic. Yeah. Now I have a girlfriend. And my cats, I can leave them for like 2 or 3 nights as long as they have enough food and water, and I clean out the cat box. And sometimes I'll give them an extra one if I'm going to be gone like one extra night or something. They're good. They're like, see ya. And then when I come back, they're like, oh, hey, do you want to feed me? Yeah. So that's why cats are great. They're friendly, they're sweet, they're cuddly, but they don't care if I leave for a whole weekend.
Yeah, dogs, you need a yard so they can run around.
Absolutely. And they need more attention. You can't leave them like that. Yeah. Yeah. They're not as independent as cats. So that is a fact. Boy, we strayed way off of trans stuff, didn't we? We started out so good, DJ. It was started so good. We do this every time, honestly. I always just let the conversation flow. But of course, if there's anything you have to say, go for it. That is the main platform here.
TikTok has freaked me out. Well, it's not freaked me out, but okay, so I have been one of those ghosting scrollers for like maybe 4 months, 5 months, just not really. I never posted anything. It just kind of looking. Right. And then when I got my first tee shot that night at the hotel, I made that video and I just kept it for myself.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what possessed me. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to post this because, you know, just for myself, you know, maybe a couple friends. I had 25 followers and I posted it. And the next morning when I got up, I saw these thousands of people excited for me. And I'm like, oh my God, wow. It just blew me away. And it's like, it's continuing to blow me away. So it's like, well, now I have to keep it up.
Right.
you know, but it's like all these, it's my new family, you know. I have some support in my family, but not very much. So I'm excited to share it with people who genuinely care. And if I can help one person, my life has been well lived. That's all I want.
This is gonna be my new second best friend.
Well,
on the other side of Ben. I love you already. You sound so much like me.
I wouldn't be able to transition now if I hadn't, you know, found this community through YouTube and Twitter. Yeah. You know, that just found so many supportive people.
It's amazing.
You know, DJ, I gotta say, so there's a couple people in our umbrella community within our atheist community that have been like, you know, big mentors for us and people we look up to. And 2 of them are Jenny Morgan, who I invited here tonight. I don't know where she is, but she might pop in later. And then the Lavender Lady. And both of them have been, because they've started transitioning so long ago. So to us, we're like, wow, talking about doing something that's not popular, you know. And they
Jenny
went through
said
a lot of
something
help.
about being on the road today. I don't know where she was going.
Oh, okay. She might be going into the main. She lives in like a little 900 population towns. Sometimes
Yeah.
she makes a trip to the big town. Yeah, that might be where she's at. So they really like, I looked at them like, my God, they're brave, you know? And I thought, but you know, they started when they were whatever 30s and 20s or whatever. And, you know, it's different. You know, I'm 50. Like, do I start now, you know, 35 years later, after I knew that I was not born the right gender?
Yeah.
Like, now what's the point? I'm 50, right? So I didn't say anything to anybody. And then Purple's like, hey, I'm going to transition. And I was like, well, fuck. Purple's like 7 years older than me. If Purple could do it. And then, what was it? A year and, because my son's almost 2 years in now. So I think it was about a year and 2 or 3 months into his transition, and he's got this awesome beard and chest hair, and I'm like, you fucker, you know, all the leg hair and everything. He looks so badass, and I'm so mad at him. So, and not really.
Yeah.
But anyways, between Purple doing it and my kid, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, my son transitioned before me. What kind of, am I stupid? What am I doing? That's it. I'm doing it. And I just, all of a sudden, just like that, said, that's it. I'm doing it. And I had met Ben, and Ben was already a month and a half in when I said, that's it. What am I doing? Like, I have all this support. I live in a community that is so that, like, literally the motto for the town I live outside of should be, just don't be a dick. Like, they don't care. They don't care who you are. There's trans couples walking around there's trans people walking around everywhere. People will like look at them, but they don't really go, they just go, oh, a person. You know what I mean? Oh, he's obviously trans, whatever, you know, or she's obviously, but there's no like malice. There's no turnaround going, oh my God, you know, like I'd see in Ohio and stuff, you know. There's no comments as people walk by muttering underneath their breath because they don't have the balls looking in the eye and say, like, that stuff doesn't happen here. So I said, you know what? I'm in the best place in my life right now. I work for a doctor's office. Everybody there, when I told them, they already had trans patients. So when I told them I was going to transition, they were like, cool. Let us know if you need, what do you need? Do you want us to show you what's going on? Do you need information? Get you some testosterone? Like, I had testosterone in like 2 weeks because I just fell into this perfect fucking environment. And then all these people on YouTube, and I saw these people on TikTok, you know, because I was on the lesbian TikTok, and then I started seeing trans guys, and I started following them, and, you know, I never said anything. And then finally I was just like, you know, that's it. I'm doing it. So I told my son, I said, I want you to know that you inspired me. And he's like, what do you mean? And he said, well, I'm glad I did, but what do you mean? And I said, I'm going to transition. And he's like, sweet. And I said, so, I mean, you already have a dad, so Pops? And he's like, Pops works. I'm like, all right. And that was the whole conversation. So I'm like, hey, dude, take a picture of your legs and show me how hairy your legs are. And his legs are they're hairy. Like, I have one brother out of all my brothers. He is the hairiest motherfucker in the world. He is just the hairiest dude. He had a full beard. He could walk into a bar at 15 years old and get beer. He had a full freaking beard. His chest was hairy. He's got back hair. And my kid is just like that. Like, he's got back hair and stuff. And he's like, 2 inches of back hair, Pops. Get that to look forward to. And I'm like, shut up, dude. I'm not getting that. Damn it. I don't want the back hair.
Don't want the back hair.
I don't want the back hair. But no, but he's oh man, he came to me. It's been 4 years now. I was dating this chick, and we were living together. I was living at her place, and he came over. He's like, I gotta talk to you, you know. And I'm like, yeah, sure, man. What's up? Come on over. So we end up. He's like, well, okay, we had dinner and everything. We talked. Can I like talk to you now? And I was like, sure. Let's go out in the garage. And we smoked in the garage. So we went out there, and we each lit a cigarette, and his legs are shaking, and he's all fidgety and playing with the cigarette pack and playing with the paper off the cigarette pack. And I'm like, what's going on? What is wrong? Well, I don't want you to be disappointed in me. Starts crying. And I said, did you rape somebody? And she at the time goes, what? No. And I'm like, okay. And I wait for a second. I go, did you murder somebody? No, I didn't hurt anybody. Okay. You're not a thief. No, I'm not a thief. What are you? I'm like, then how can I be disappointed in you? How?
Yeah.
You're a good person. You are a good adult. You work hard. You take care of your crap. You treat other people better than you do yourself. How can I be disappointed in you? Well, I think I want to transition. I think I want to be a guy. And I was like, yeah, I want a penis too. So what? Go ahead and do it. She goes, what? First time I ever said it. She never said a word about it. And then like 2 years later, okay, that's it. I'm transitioning now. And I never said, nothing was ever said about my comment. But honestly, I was drinking that night and it just fell right out of my mouth because I call alcohol truth serum.
Sure.
You know, people call the truth and they will be themselves. And if someone is drunk and a total asshole, they're really an asshole and they've been faking it.
There you go.
It's truth serum. I've spent a lot of times. I've worked in bars. I've bartended. I know. So I know. But
people don't really lie
it
when
just
they're
fell out of my mouth. And years later, I'm like, what am I going to do with that now? I mean, I know the truth. I've said it for the first time in my life. So
it was interesting coming out to my dad. Now he's 88 years old.
Oh, really?
And I was terrified, you know, just it's like, well, he's going to find out sooner or later. So I talked to him and I was so surprised, and God bless him. He's like, you know, I understand, but I don't understand, but you can talk to me about anything. So it's like, he still loves me, you know.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, I know, right? So I'm blessed that way.
See, that goes to show everybody, the older generations, not all of them are like that. Some of them are open-minded still and love people just because they're people.
Right.
It's just they're few and far between, but they're there. They're out there.
Well, I have to say that my mom has taken it much better than I expected. And, you know, it's more like bewilderment because it's completely outside of her frame of reference. But she hasn't been negative about it.
Good.
You know, but I mean, she's 93 years old. This is just something that didn't happen.
Well, I didn't have any parents left to tell. My parents have both been dead for years. My dad, 16 and a half years now. And my mom's been gone for 33 years, almost 33 years now. So I did the next best. And I called my oldest sister because she's, you know, she helped raise all of us. She's always been like a second mom to me. And the other sister had already passed away. So when I came out as gay, I called them all in order of age, oldest to youngest. Oh, by the way, DJ, I'm the youngest of 7.
Oh, all right.
So I just called them all oldest to youngest and said, this is what's going on. I'm a lesbian. They were like, okay, find a new cause. Everybody's gay. Another one said, hey, we'll go pick up women together. One of my brothers, my other brother goes, oh, I got a little brother. And he goes, wait a minute, I always have, haven't I? And I said, yeah, you have. Because I was always like one of the boys. I was always running around with the boys doing stuff. And so when I came out as trans, and let me call Wendy, you know, let me call my sister first. So I called her and she was like, oh, okay. Well, I love you. And I said, I love you too. Thanks, sis. She was like, and I said, can't shock you anymore, can I? And she goes, no, not really. Like one time at some point in my life, I just said, I'm just going to give up everything and go be a truck driver. So I had 2 bags of shit and I jumped in a truck and they were all like, okay. Sometimes I do random weird shit. But yeah, I just called everybody and all of them just either about time or, well, I saw this coming years ago or, okay, sure. Still family. I still love you. I mean, that's what I got. So I guess I found somebody else lucky like me because it's amazing. And I'm glad you have that. That's very important. Have you and your dad always been close?
No.
Really?
It was very, very rough growing up. It was terrible.
Oh, wow.
he did not change himself until my mom passed. And he was forced to look at things differently. You know, there's 5 kids, you know, and she was always the buffer for everything. And
yeah, moms were back then. That's what they did.
When she was dying, he had to step up, and he had a rude awakening. So he's done a lot of changing. And in fact, he's even apologized for the emotional abuse and neglect. And
really, wow.
You know, he's one of the rare good guys that are left of the older generation.
Jupiter's asking, do you just rip the bandage off? And, like, you know, all you can really say is that you've got to do it however it's right for you.
Yep.
And you can't be too worried about how the other people are going to react to it.
I know that for a fact, honesty is best. My mom used to say that when we were kids. She'd say, honesty is best. What happened? We wouldn't want to tell her. And she'd go, well, here you go. Okay. You can be in trouble now for not telling me. And you can be in trouble later for when I find out. So you're going to be in trouble twice. Or you can be honest with me right now, and your punishment will be lessened because you were honest. I think I'll tell the truth. Take a third of what I was going to get the other way, right?
Right.
And she was honest. Like, she stuck to it. She always stuck to it. If we lied, or if we wouldn't talk to her or wouldn't tell, and someone almost got hurt or something serious happened, like, I mean, she was not afraid to beat our ass, but she was one mom with all these kids and no dad worth of fucking shit. He was either at the bar drunk or he was off to the Navy. That was pretty much what he was. So she had to rule. She ruled the house. And, you know, the way, and you probably understand this, the way we got spanked is nothing compared to the way our parents got spanked.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every generation, it just lessens and lessons. And people go, oh, well, your mom, that was child abuse. And I was like, no, it wasn't. We deserved every bit of it. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, we literally, she would warn us over and over, and we would do it anyways. And she would tell us, if you do this again, I'm going to spank you. This is like 3 strikes, 4th strike, you're out. I gave you 3 already. Like, I'm not telling you again. So and it was always something that was, you know, we were either being mean to somebody, or putting ourselves in danger, or someone else in danger, or playing with something that was not okay for us to play with, and we could really get hurt by. It was always something really important. But there were so many of us running around. We were bored country kids. In the winter, we got in so much trouble because there was nothing to do. We couldn't go outside and release that energy. So we'd run around the house and get all crazy. And she'd be like, oh, gotta spank another one. Here we go. Like, that was like when the warm weather came, she was like, I don't care if it's raining. You need to get out of this house. I'm done. No, she never cussed. But it was basically what she was, get the fuck out of my house. Go play in the rain. I don't care. It's 60 some odd degrees. You're fine. Go play. Get the hell out of my house. So
no, I got totally screwed up because I got blamed for stuff that I had nothing to do with, and I got away with a lot of the stuff I did because someone else got blamed for it. So growing up, there was no real connection between my actions and the consequences.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy, crazy stuff.
I remember picking out my own switch. You know, had to go out. Go out to the willow tree and pick it out. Say, oh,
yeah.
No.
We had oaks and maples, though. I remember. Here you go, DJ. One of the time I got my ass beat, and you'll know why as soon as I tell you the story. I got in trouble for something. I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. It was something I'd probably done 20 times, and this is probably like the 10th time she spanked me for it or something. We didn't know what ADHD was back then. We spanked kids because we just thought they weren't listening.
Right.
And so I got spanked a lot as a kid. Not really the fault of my parents. It's just kind of how it was. So my mom said to me one time, that's it. You're getting the switch this time. My mom had a couple different methods. She had hand for you weren't that bad. Then she had a drawer behind her for you've been bad. And it was full of wooden spoons, metal pancake spatulas, and rubber spatulas. And she'd do this behind her. It was like the lottery. You're like, come on, rubber spatula. You hurt the least. Damn, I got the metal spatula. You know, It was like playing Russian roulette every single time. You never knew what she was gonna. She'd pull it out, and you'd go, "Oh fuck, that's not the one I wanted." So I forgot what I was going with it. It cracks me up thinking back. We used to try to stick magazines on our pants, and she'd go,
"Oh sure."
She'd pull it out and set it down on the table. Bend over. You're getting an extra one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging in the kitchen, my dad had a. Yeah. Hanging in the kitchen, my dad had a paddle that he had hand carved from a 2x6.
Oh yeah, my mom had a paddle too. She never used that though. I don't remember her ever using a paddle on. It was always some kitchen utensil. That was mom's favorite drawer. But luckily on our side, the knives she kept on the other side of the sink. So we were safe. Yeah. We were safe. She would literally put anything that would harm us over there. And that drawer was a big, deep top drawer. And it was just full of her. I can spank my kids with these. That's literally what it was. It's hilarious. And they were that was on the living room side of the kitchen because we were always coming in from the living room getting in trouble doing something. Right. Like she planned it out. My mom was not stupid. She made it ergonomic and everything.
Oh.
Oh my God. I could just laugh because my mom was such an amazing person. She had such a good heart. And when we were kids, she would say, when we were really little and we got our first like actual spanking and not just a pat on the butt, but we'd get older and we'd start acting up really bad. And she would say to us, each one of us, a couple of times, and then she would stop saying it. She'd go, this hurts me more than it does you. And we'd go, whatever. But man, looking back, I think it killed her to do that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Because then after that, she made everybody leave the kitchen. I think she was in there crying. I think she literally hated doing it.
No, I'm sure.
Because she was never angry. She was more like sad about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess JR had a question that you missed there.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. Where are we at, JR? Where'd it go?
Oh, it's
when a woman changes to male, do the new parts work sexually? Actually, they're working on a lot of different stuff now, JR. This is actually quite interesting. They have the newest procedure they are doing involves taking skin off the inside of your arm because the nerves are the closest that they can find to a big enough area to remove skin from to create a penis with. So it's the nerves are the closest to it. So they take the existing nerves and they remove all that stuff around it and they build it into it, and hopefully you get some sensation out of it. Now, the problem we have is with the nerves reattaching and regrowing and stuff, it's not doing so much of a good job. So it's not super sensitive, although you can feel it. It's almost like anybody ever get stitches in their hands and their finger or something, arm, anything like that, and they numb you, and it doesn't hurt, but you can feel the tugging and the needle going through you.
Yep.
It's like that. It's kind of like a dull sensation. It's a dull, you can feel the movement, but you don't have that full sensation. And then what they do is they put 2 different devices in each testicle that they create. And one is to pump up and one is to deflate. And the bad part about it is that every so often you will have problems with the pump. And so you will have to go back in and get things fixed. So that kind of sucks. They've actually created a pretty good system, and most of the phalloplasties, they come out I mean, you'd be impressed. I'm impressed. I can't even believe how real most of them look. It's amazing. It's amazing how far they've come in the last 5 to 6 years. It's like they've really been working on this. And I don't know who they're doing it for, or if they're doing it for men whose penises get cut off, or if they're trying to help the trans community, or maybe they just don't care and they just want to be better at it. Maybe they don't care who uses it, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Well, I think originally it was mostly developed for reconstructive surgery for men who had accidents, but
that's absolutely where it started at. Oh yeah, of course. Absolutely where it started. But yeah, no, you won't. And for women, they remove everything. They turn things inside out, whatever they get, whatever. There's a couple different ways to do that. And they recreate the labia and everything. So they try to get you as anatomically correct as possible. And from what I've heard, it's actually easier to go to female than to male with nerves and stuff. So the nerves at the base of your body in your groin area are going to be there either way. So yeah, we're the ones that get screwed, not the trans women. They don't.
I heard it said that it's always easier to create something from something than something from nothing. So
right.
And that
right. That's true. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I was actually supposed to call today and get my new insurance number from the company, but I didn't get a chance to because I was so busy at work. Doing that tomorrow now that I thought about it. So I'm getting a new order to go see a breast surgeon. And she does different, like all of the different kinds. Like some of them will specialize in just mastectomies with implants. And some of them will specialize in mastectomies with and without implants, and trans male to female or female to male. And it's usually the ones that do one won't do the other. I don't know why. But this surgeon is like, okay, so DJ doesn't know. My girlfriend is a PA. She's a physician's assistant, MSPAC. So she could go back to school for like 2.5 years and have her MD because she's that far away from it. It's just a lot of money and a lot of time. But anyways, so fuck. See, what did I do? Purple, what did I say? I read the chat again. God, I gotta quit doing that. Where was I? Hello to whom they. Oh my God. Stool.
Sorry, I was distracted at the same time. So
That's okay. That's okay. Damn, I really lost it. God, I gotta quit reading you guys' comments. You guys are too funny. Quit doing it. Quit putting intelligent stuff in the chat. You're killing me. Yeah, I don't know. I totally lost it. I suck. What are your thoughts, DJ? Get us somewhere into a different direction, because I'm totally.
Well, I'm noticing.
Totally taking my Adderall next Monday.
I think I want to looking at what Carol is saying about Milo, and that
yeah,
who passed away. I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, I did hear about it through TikTok as well. But I don't know who the person was. Like, I'd never heard of him before. So,
no. I've never either. But I just found it just, again, sad. Another family member that I don't know what was going on. I don't know if anyone knew what was really going on, but really glad people are trying to be there for each other, but it's just very, very sad.
Yeah, no, it's the test of a community when things are bad. It's not a test when things are good. Everybody can survive the good fun shit, right?
Sure.
But we are, and I love talking to you. You are welcome back here anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Me and Ben stream 3 nights a week. We do some trivia on Fridays. Wednesdays I do an open mic, and then every Monday we do Oxic Transculinity.
Right. Awesome.
So I appreciate
it.
Welcome. I think you're brilliant, and I think you're funny, and I'm so understanding you, and it's great. It's great.
Awesome. I love everyone. I'm going to have to sign off. I have to get up early to go to work.
Sure.
You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you.
You too, DJ. Hit me up on TikTok anytime.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye, sweetheart.
Oh,
I love them. They're great, huh? What do you guys think? Yes, I was going to go back, but then I kind of felt like they wanted to get out of here. Sorry. Yes, my surgeon. So Heather was like, because I had already found a surgeon. She goes, I got one I want better. I like better if you're okay with that. And I was like, do you know both of them? Yeah. You trust this one more? Oh yeah, a lot more. fine. So I changed insurances. I had to wait till March 1st to change my insurance. So now I can get a new consultation with the best surgeon in the area, like in the state area. So, and she's been doing it for a long time, and she doesn't do 1 or 2 surgeries. She does all of them. So she is multi-specialty in any kind of breast surgery. So she's going to be the one that if I need to, something goes wrong or something looks funny, that's going to be the one that's going to fix it right there. Heather said, yeah, she doesn't have a great bedside manner. She's very matter of fact and kind of clipped when she speaks. She said, but she's a fucking brilliant surgeon. I said, I don't care if she's nice to me. I just want my chest to look like it should look. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't care if she's nice or not. She can be a total bitch to me as long as she does her job right. I don't care. I'm totally good with it. So, what was the topic? I don't know, Maya. We've just been all over the board. We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. Trans stuff, of course. Oh my God, what have we've talked about cats and dogs and loyalty, and I mean, we've just been all of it. Well, you know how it is here. You never know where
just
we're going to end
up.
Man, never know where we're going to end up. What's that, Perps?
Oh, just about things growing up and that, and parents disciplining you growing up thing.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and we were talking about how much it's changed and how much technology has changed how people act towards each other. Like when we were all kids, most of us that are in my age range, which is most of the chat and me and Perps, we all knew each other, and you talked to your neighbor, and you'd go hang out in the backyard when they're out there mowing and interrupt them with a glass of tea or a beer or something. Like that's what we knew. And technology, it's so weird because all these kids are so delved into technology to communicate with people, but they don't talk to who's around them every day. It all has to be behind a keyboard or a screen, right?
Yeah.
So I find that weird. Like, why wouldn't you just walk out your door and talk to your next door neighbor and make a friend in person?
Well, personally, I like talking to people online better.
Well, I mean,
for
yeah,
me,
but I'm just saying
it's easier. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's always a small portion of the population that's, introverts or autistic or, whatever's going on with them to make them not want to be in crowds but most people aren't like that. But yet we still have this huge amount of the population that are acting like that. It's almost like social media and everything is turning people more introverted. I don't know.
Well, with COVID,
Just
it's happened, big time. The last 2 years, everybody's been staying home and I don't need to talk to my neighbors here.
We did talk about dirty poo butts, where people don't want to, where straight, typical cis male doesn't want to like clean himself and has like the ass hair. I'm like, I'm just going to shave it because I'm never going to have that problem. Yes, Maya, you did miss that conversation, but no one did mention farts. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Really, Mage, because you are freaking great in the chat. I would never know that about you. Huh.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Does your brain
I had always wondered why
do you have social anxiety from talking to people, like verbally speaking to people? I mean, I know people that will not talk on the phone. They will text you all day and have huge hours worth of conversation with you. You call them, they don't answer the phone. They're like, no, I don't want to talk on the phone, but I'll text. My ex was like that. To this day, still, if I call her, she goes, what do you want? I don't like this.
Well, again, I'll do that too. I'd rather texting than talking on the phone. For one thing, if you're texting, you have a chance to see it and backspace over something before they hear it.
It's true. There's a buffer.
Well, for me, a lot of that is because with my autism, I tend to be too blunt. And I offend people a lot that way when I don't mean to. So if I can look at it and think for a second, I know what I meant, but how are they going to take it?
Right.
That a lot of times it's like, yeah, I should probably rephrase that.
Right. Yeah. It's true. JR said, I only started texting 6 months ago. Wow, JR, you got a lot to learn, baby. You watch, I'll have you like doing all kinds of crazy streaming and shit from your phone and live videos, and you watch. Get you all hooked up.
Well,
Talking makes me tired. Talking makes my brain feel better. Like just getting it out of my mouth, whatever's going on in my head, and just getting rid of it. It feels good to, and I think people just, I think I've appeared to a lot of people that I'm about myself and I just want to talk a lot, but it's not that. It's just my brain goes so fast, and I'll have a thought in mind, and then I'll wait for somebody to talk, and then I go to talk about that thought. And then as I'm talking about that thought, I start thinking about the other stuff I started thinking about because of that thought that I was holding on to. And then the next thing I know, I'm all the way over here and I'm like, what the fuck was I saying? And oh my God, between me and the chat, I just get so fucking distracted. It's horrible.
That's a problem I have. That I wind up going off on tangents within tangents and that. And one time with my ex, it happened, and for some reason that one day my brain was slow enough that I was able to trace it back. So I had an example of it. You know, that we were sitting having pizza, and I went from pizza to funerals in the same sentence. You know, and she was just like trying to follow that. It's like, well, the pizza had black olives. Olives are sometimes green. Kermit the Frog sings, "It's not that easy being green." And Jim Henson had died that week.
I loved the Muppets when I was a kid. My other favorite show was Sesame Street. And on Sesame Street, where was I? Yes. That's my life, Purple. That is my life. I totally get it. That is how my brain works all the fucking time. I'm telling you, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'll say it right now. My mom used to stop me and go, wait. What, Mom? We were talking about car transmissions, and now all of a sudden you're talking about tomatoes. How in the hell did you get to tomatoes?
Yep.
So I go, oh, well, I thought about the engine, and I thought about the car, and then I thought about this, and the grocery store. I like tomatoes. We have tomatoes in the garden. I should eat some tomatoes. Now I'm on to tomatoes. And she'd go, oh, okay, now that I know where you are, go ahead. What's up?
Well, and the way my brain
she was
processes...
so tolerant of me.
The way my brain processes language, I often go off on puns, go off on tangents that are like based on a pun or a spoonerism of what the other person said. So it's like the subject is really not at all related. It's just a word that sounded similar enough that sent me off on something.
Yeah, I get it, Jupiter. I get it. Yes. Yeah, sometimes if I'm like working on a project, Nick, and my brain just like I'm trying to figure out my brain, I will say it as I'm like writing it down or sketching out. Well, yeah, because these boards are 6 inches each, which are actually 5 3/4. So you got to account for that, and then I have the spacers I'm going to put in. So that'll take care of the 3/4. So we'll just go with 6 even, and I can just. But if I talk about it, I can work it out like that. And I never thought about it like that. But yes, I guess I'm a verbal processor. You're right. That's interesting.
Yeah, Mage, I also have that a lot of just like blanking on words.
I should start recording myself because I'm so ADHD. I can't remember what I said sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll go,
it's
what
like,
the fuck was that number I came up with?
I know the word I want, but I can't come up with the actual word. So it's like, you know, I come up with a word that sounds similar but has a completely different meaning.
Yeah. Right, Maya? That's me every conversation. Writing things down is helpful because it's easier to remember why I started the tangent. Also, less tangents when writing. You're right, because you have to slow yourself down to write it.
Yep.
But also, I feel like that might stifle the creativity, because sometimes with me, I just get these weird ideas out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, you know what I could do with that? I could take that and I could put it with this, and oh, it's for this. Yeah, but so I want to. No, I'm not going to use it for that though. I'm going to use it for this. And people are like, oh, that's weird. I hadn't thought of that. Like my trim around my house. This is flashing for underneath the edge of your soffit. That's what this is. It's perfect, man. It's great. It's sturdy. It's metal.
Okay. I'll be back in a minute.
Why would I want to put wood up there that'll get destroyed? I put metal up there. You do whatever you want to it. And if you have a magnet on the back of your phone, you can stick it on there. So that's fun. Yeah, no, you're right, Nick. It is a social taboo to talk to yourself, which I think is ridiculous. I think pretty much everybody in my family does it. I think we're all verbal processors. And maybe it's just more common and we just need to not make a big deal of it. Now that I think about it, I know a lot of people that they'll go, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I do this sometimes too. Like I'll start, hey, I was thinking about doing this, but instead of doing it this way, I want to kind of try it this way. What do you think of that? You know what I could do? When I try it this way, I could also do this at the same time and I could use it for this and that. What do you think of that? Right? Uh-huh. Oh, you know what I could do instead? This would be even better. Like that's it. Once you get me started, I'll make up a whole I'll come up with a whole idea of some crazy shit. Yeah, my cats would just knock them off. They'd be like, what the fuck is that? And they'd knock them off and chew on them. I can't have little cool stickers and magnets and stuff in my house. It's illegal. Only on this side of the cabinet where he can't reach. That's the only place I can do anything magnetic. Talking to yourself is really common, says Maya. I think people only label it as crazy when they see strangers doing it. I mean, really, why do we have to pick on people, right? It's just another way to say you're different than people. No, you're not. We all do this shit. And it's funny because I'll admit all the weird shit I do, and almost everybody in the chat's like, me too, me too, me too. That's not coincidental. It's just that somebody at some point started picking on someone about it, and then everybody else is like, oh, that's weird. The big in charge guy with the money that's a bully said it's weird, so it's weird now. We all need to act like it's weird. And I swear that's what it is. Nick talks to his camera a lot. I usually just sit and watch him do it. Nick says, most people process verbally at least some. It kind of workshopping. Okay. Some of us rely on it heavily. It's an issue because people can think you're explaining conclusions. No, you're processing. Yeah, people will think you're stopping and then you keep going. I get that. And they're like, oh, I thought you were just doing. I'm like, no, wait, I'm not done. Just, you have to hear the whole thing. Just wait. Don't just me build the whole thing out for you. Often I'm the only intelligent conversation I can get. Luckily I don't have that problem. I'm so fucking lucky because my girlfriend is so funny and so smart and she understands what I'm saying. Like I'll say something absolutely sarcastic, but with like this straight face. And at the same time, I'm making it sound like I mean this, but I also mean this, but I really mean that. And I'll say it to her and she'll just come right back with the right answer. And then we both laugh. It's so fucking funny. I've never known anybody to keep up with me. I said to her, I said, you have to be partially ADHD. And she said, why? And I said, because you keep up with me and you understand what I'm saying. And nobody gets my shit. But every time I say to her, oh, I was thinking about blah, 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 out of the blue, she's right there with me, keeping up with me. So I swear to God, she's ADHD. Purple, that was a hell of a 2 burps right there.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I wasn't able to hit my mute button quick enough.
Oh, it's all right. Sneaks out. Bodily function and all.
Yeah, dinner's not settling quite right.
Yeah. No, you're right, Nick. I agree. JR, that's the only way I win an argument. Sometimes I'm mad at myself for days. Why do you think I come here? No mute here unless, yep, Titan has a wrench. Crap. That's great. Yeah, I think I'm pretty dry. I don't know. How do you classify your own humor? It's easier for someone else to look at you and go, oh, you have this sense of humor. You're dry or you're witty or you're sarcastic or I don't know what the fuck I am. I say what's on my brain and people either laugh or sometimes I get crickets. I'm okay with it. I think it's funny.
I've always been able to get the British humor much better than most of the American comedians.
That's interesting. You think it's because you grew up with people from over that way?
I didn't personally know anyone over that way, but your
family came from over there is what I'm saying.
No.
Didn't they?
No, my father's side's from Poland, my mother's side's from Finland.
Your father's side's from where?
Poland.
Oh, Poland. Oh, I was way off, huh? What the fuck am I saying? Never mind, ignore me.
Yeah, but apart from watching too much BBC growing up, I don't really know why, but I seem to have certain British mannerisms that people often just assume I was. So until I became atheist, I had always just taken it to be that I had been reincarnated from a British sailor in World War II.
Huh? Okay. No, probably Maya, but I modded Titan a long time ago. He was one of the first people I modded on my channel because he was one of the first people I knew and trusted to not do something against my wishes and be an asshole to somebody or something like that. He's the appropriate amount of asshole when it's appropriate for the right person. So, and he leaves everybody else alone. So I'm good. Really, JR, I think English humor is fucking hilarious. I mean, just some of that shit, it just kills me. Well, I mean, sometimes I'll watch some of it, I'll go, okay, that was kind of funny. But a lot of it, more of it cracks me up than it does make me think that's okay. So.
And again, this is one of the things that showed me that no one was paying attention to me as a kid. Because, it was definitely not appropriate for an 8-year-old to be watching Monty Python alone.
Monty Python. God, what's your favorite one?
Oh, I don't know. It's been so many years since I've seen the series. A lot of them kind of blur together at this point.
Well, my favorite Monty Python. Oh, no, I was talking about movies. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite one's
the Holy Grail is definitely the best one. I don't think anybody will argue with that.
People go, no, it's Life of Brian. I'm like, no, dude, it's totally the Holy Grail. It is sarcastic and hilarious, and everybody exaggerates their part just right, and they all do stupid shit together, and it's just great. It's just, oh my God, the fucking humor in there is like the guy in with he's out and by himself, and he ends up at that castle full of virgins, and they come to save him, and they're like, we got you, we're gonna save you, and he's like, no, really, I'm fine, just leave me here. It's fine. And they're all like trying to strip him and everything, and they're trying to drag him out of there, and he's like, no, really, it's fine, leave me here, I'm good, I can handle them, I'll take them all on by myself. Fucking great. I love that one.
Well, the only one I can think of that I felt really didn't work was Jabberwocky. And I think the problem with that one was that they actually stayed on topic for a solid hour. And that's the thing about Monty Python is that they just kept going off into something random every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I love them. It's just, now I got Monty Python fucking Holy Grail going through my head. Like, all I can think about is Holy Grail parts of it. What is your favorite color? Gray. No, blue. It's just good shit, man. It's just good. What is how many, something of an unladen swallow? I don't know.
African or European? I didn't know that.
African or European, that's it. We need shrubbery. Just a small shrubbery.
And there's a little scene in there that, it seems like nobody notices.
Go ahead.
But, okay, when they first meet Sir Guinevere, he's doing the trial of the witch. And nobody seems to have noticed that when that scene starts, before the characters are introduced, the first thing you see is Sir Guinevere tying a coconut to a sparrow's leg and tossing it.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
I never realized
it's
that.
just like 3 seconds at the beginning of that scene.
Are you serious? How
Yeah.
did I never see that before? I've watched that
that's
movie
what I mean.
like 20
Nobody
fucking
notices
times.
that.
Oh my god, now I gotta watch it again. Fuck, there goes my evening. And tomorrow night too. Takes a while to watch the Holy Grail. But good shit, man. God, I love that fucking movie.
I'm sorry.
Come here, I'll kill you. You have no arms and no legs.
I'll bite your kneecaps.
Bite your kneecaps.
All right, we'll call it a draw then.
We'll call it a draw then. A draw? It's great. Guy's like, whatever, dude. I'm not dead yet. You're almost dead. Don't worry about it. Can you take him now? I mean, you only come by on Thursdays. And he'll be dead by next week. Oh, fuck. Ah, good movie, though. Good movie. What time is it, Purple? I'm fucking tired. 9 o'clock. God, it feels like it's 11. I woke up in the middle after having the weird sleep pattern Friday night from the marathon. I woke up in the middle of the night last night and the night before and couldn't go back to sleep. Yeah, and I was like, my body doesn't know when to sleep right now. It's confused. It's like, what? You sleep about the same every fucking night. What the fuck?
I'm sorry I was so out of it last weekend that I just couldn't even be in that.
You're fine, Perps.
Well, I had wanted to at least participate in some of the chats, but...
Well, we got a couple more to do, and you're going to be working on the eBay stuff for us, you know, with the auction, so no worries there. You're going to be doing so much to help us with you. And
yeah, we've had a couple more people who said they...
right?
What's it?
Jonathan's going to help you with the pictures, right? Sprucing them up and stuff for the...
Yeah, well, I know there had been a mention of that. I haven't talked to him directly since that, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he said he has some seriously expensive fucking editing software that he and he loves to do that shit, and he's an amazing artist.
I can crop and add text. That's it. That's the extent of my photo manipulation skills.
I mean, I can enhance or take away from or saturation pictures, but I'm not like a pro at it. I just do it until I like the way it looks,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we had a couple of people, say that since we didn't run it yet, Jonathan was saying he could do a couple more items, and we had somebody else saying that they could put in a couple of items from the merch store.
We got to get Larry to repost his because he posted his way at the top of that chat somewhere. I can't even get to it. So we got to get him.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem I have with Twitter.
He did it like the next day after he talked about it, and that was so long ago.
It's like every once in a while, Twitter does some kind of a weird hiccup. And then one of my groups, I won't be able to scroll back past that date.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had that happen yet. Well, not that I know of. I only go back so far and then I go, oh, never mind. And then I'll just message a person and say, can you send that to me again? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, and that's, I didn't know how many of them I may have missed that somebody may have posted that I just didn't see.
That's pretty much true, Ox, because sometimes there's only like one or two you in the chat, so I just modded all my favorites. And the ones that aren't modded, don't be offended. I probably just forgot to go back and mod you, so just forgive me for that one.
Pretty much anybody I've seen in the chat a half dozen times, I'll mod. Because by that point, I know whether they're, like you say, whether they're going to be a dick or not.
I mean,
as long as they're not going to be a dick to the other people there, that's fine. They can help, play bop with the bots.
Right. I mean, the people that are modded on here that were originally modded, like Maya and then Tony and all those people, way before I modded Ox and you, I mean, I knew them for like a year before I modded them. You know, I mean, like I knew them a long, like at least 8 or 10 months or something like that. Because I didn't have any mods at first. And, you know.
Well, for me, a lot of it was people that I'd already seen, being mods in other channels. Being mods on the shows or in Lavender Lady's channel or something.
Well, that's the thing is like I met all of them through MathPig. Like it's been almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
You know, this summer will be 3 years since I met all of them, so I didn't have any problem. I knew that they were decent people, and you know, I know that TU can be a hard-headed dickhead sometimes, but he knows that too, so it's okay. But he doesn't do that over here, so I don't have any problems with him. I know some people are like, but I don't fucking care what they say because I don't have any problems with them.
In less than 2 months, my channel will be 4 years old.
Thanks for stopping by, John. Have a good night.
Oh, good night, John.
4 years old.
Yep. And I actually started, I kind of got active on YouTube like the fall before that, the fall of 2017.
Yeah.
That I was commenting on a lot of other people's channels under my previous name.
Don't mod me. I'm too socially anxious. I got a bunch of people modded. I haven't modded anybody in a while now just because I have so many people.
Yeah.
It's true, Jupit. And he was the one that kind of inspired me to do it on my channel and try to get people to know each other and connect people and everything. Like that's why I like doing it. Well, he's the one that started me out. Like I was hanging out in this chat because him and my brother were talking and nobody knew who I was. And Richard was like, well, I don't want them to know you're my relative because I don't want them to give you shit the way they're going to give me shit. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I did catch a little bit after we told everybody, but not much. And I just said, well, just because he's my brother doesn't mean we believe the same thing because we don't, not even close. So then everybody backed off from me. But yeah, so I mean, I was hanging out in the chat for months before, for like 6-7 months before anybody even knew who I was. And then I started my channel. Well, I started doing the tiny home stuff, and then I decided, you know what? Fuck it. Like MathPig had popped my cherry, and then I came on my brother's one time, and then I was like, fuck it, why don't I just do my own shit? And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And here I am all the way up to 550 subs in only 2 years.
Yeah. Brag.
Exciting. No, that's horrible.
I've been at it twice as long, and you're beating me.
Oh well. Yeah. I've been lucky. I've bumped into people that I've clicked with, and I've gotten really lucky with that. And it's all because of fucking MathPig and Richard. Like all the people I've met all stem from those two people.
Well, I've looked at all the other people that got like 1,000 subscribers in their first year, and I've noticed there's a pattern. That happens to the people who actually put some effort into their channel.
That's true, but I've never done any content like premieres stuff.
Well,
I've never done anything pre-recorded.
That's for me, and the whole time I've got a few out there. I've got like 9 or 10 edited videos that I produced.
Yeah, I don't even have that many. I've never done one. I've only done live streams. I probably could do those, but I mean, honestly, we have such good conversations. Why would I want to change it? We all have good conversations here.
Well, I do plan on doing some more of those.
Thank you, Maya. I agree, especially is with Purple and the amount of people that Purple gets on their panel. I don't know why Purple isn't at over 1,000 already, honestly.
Well, I think it's mostly just, because I just do the general chats and not really have a topic. So people don't tune in, unless you have a particular topic advertised, you don't get new people tuning in.
Yeah.
So it basically just winds up, being the same handful of people every week. And, that's fine. It's just a place for friends to get together and people to draw about whatever's on their mind.
Well, see, that's why I troll TikTok. No, actually, I don't. I just like being on there. Sometimes I get bored and I'll have like 20 or 30 minutes to kill, and I'll just open up TikTok and look through some stuff and be like, oh, that's a funny one, or that one means a lot to me, and I'll stitch it or duet it or something. And sometimes I'll put so you guys know, who doesn't know, I have a TikTok as well where I talk about being trans. And changes and experiences and things, stupid shit I've done, and how I've almost made myself bleed out one night and all that shit. I talk about it all. I actually did my first shot on TikTok. I had to like not show the needle going in my leg because of course they would have booted my ass off of there and say I was doing some drugs or something. But I like showed everybody how to do it and draw it up and, get rid of the bubbles and make sure it's at the right blah, blah, blah. And this is what you need to do. And I did like a little tutorial, but the thing I did wrong was I forgot that I was standing up and I had my muscle engaged. So it really hurt about 2 hours later. And then it hurt for about 6 days. Because I stuck a needle and injected testosterone into my engaged muscle. You got to have a relaxed muscle to do that and not let it hurt. You didn't know that Purple does stream? Oh, JR.
Oh, yeah, JR. Wednesdays at noon and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Central.
Well, one of you 10 mods on there. Can somebody throw Purple's links in the chat, please, for their YouTube? I would appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Purple. When do you stream? Tell everybody and what channels you're on and all that.
Yeah, I stream Wednesdays at noon and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Central.
And then you're also on.
And then I'm usually on with the shills on Saturdays at 6.
And sometimes Sundays.
Yeah, well, the shills, I usually try to make the Saturday and sometimes the Friday pub chat, sometimes the uncalled for on Sunday.
Okay, cool.
And I actually did have my channel open in another window, so I got the link for it there.
Oh, thank you.
Or had another tab for it because I'd been actually just looking because I knew it was close to my anniversary date and I was checking it.
Hey, I can get to my channel really fast too. It's just everybody else has trouble finding me sometimes.
Yep, I have 552 subscribers.
You have 552? Oh, you meant, how many do I have? I think that's the last number I had.
I thought you had like 560.
Oh, do I have more?
Yeah, it says you got 566.
Oh, come on, guys. We got to get me to 600. Oh, I'm at 199 videos. You know what that means? Does that mean tonight will be 200?
Oh, shoot. You got to throw a special party for that.
Wednesday night will be 200 videos.
Okay, make Wednesday night your 200th stream. You got to make that like an anniversary party.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll set that up tonight. I don't know if this one, because it says 199 videos, but I don't know if it's counting the one we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Huh.
YouTube is always weird the way it counts things. You can never quite figure it out.
There's purple everywhere in the chat now.
Oh,
there you go.
I haven't gotten onto TikTok though. I don't know.
I like TikTok because now they're doing 10-minute videos.
Oh, are they?
They just changed it and they're going to start doing 10-minute video. I'm like, dude, the reason I like TikTok is because I'm ADHD and people crimp it into like 1 to 3 minutes. I don't want to watch the long ones. I'm not.
That's the only reason I was thinking getting onto TikTok was, for doing just 2-minute clips.
Yeah, so you can do them. You can do it. It's 15 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes, and now it'll be 10 minutes as well. So you can do it however long you want. Like I'll click on the 3-minute one and do as much as I want, which is like a minute, maybe 2, and then I just stop it there. So. JR just subbed to you, Purple. You have one more. Yep. Now it's 553.
Yeah, and Maya, I think it's not just the same number of subs. I think that of that 550, we probably have about 500 of the same people subbing to both of us.
Oh yeah, between the two of us. Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
I
don't think there's more than a 10% difference in our audiences.
Right. I agree. But no, you do have different people that hang out in your chat than I do. But the people that hang out in my chat also hang out in your chat. So you actually have more people hanging out than I do on a typical basis. I think. I mean, once in a while I'll get somebody here that's barely ever here, but like Maya doesn't pop in as much as she used to, but she does pop in randomly. It's about as much as TU and JR. So
well, no, you get people who tend to hang out over here that I don't see much of.
Oh yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, like well, Ollie and Nicholas, I rarely see them pop into mine, and I don't think it's any big deal. I think it's, probably more than anything just mirror the scheduling, just the time you're doing things.
Right. And also, while we're talking about videos and such, I don't know who of you caught me and Ben and Amy Newman and Jigazis on Tang with Oz. But we're going to start doing that again, and we're going to start doing it monthly. And I think it's going to be on probably Tuesday nights. And they're going to put a twist to it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're just going to continue talking about trans stuff and people asking questions. It's going to be an open forum, kind of like I do, but with a lot more people. A lot, like 10 times more people in the chat and everywhere else. So Purple's at 558 now. Purple. Uh-oh. Getting you all some subs tonight. Get Purple up to 67 so I can say I'm behind them again, please. Show that shit out on Twitter or something. Anyways, point is, I'm tired. It's been a little crazy lately the last few days. Let's just say that I and the girlfriend had a very deep conversation about our near future. Not future is fine. Then stuff coming up now is a little rough. With the 3 teenagers she deals with and stuff. But anyways, so that was a lot last night to talk about and process. Maya, you don't stream from your own channel, or otherwise you'd have way more than us. Maya said, I only have 100 subs. You can both say you're doing better than me. Yeah, eventually I am going to ask her to marry me. She's already asked me, honestly. And of course I said yes, because who the fuck would say no to that? But I said to her, wait. Are you seriously asking me right now? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, and she goes, what? And I said, I mean, most people would get mad, but I said, well, I've never got a chance to ask a woman to marry me, and I've never wanted to be married before. So I wanted it to be you, to be my one and only. And she goes, oh, and I said, but yes. And she goes, okay, but you can do that. And I said, okay, cool. We can both propose. And she said, yeah. And I said, okay, deal. It was really cute the way she proposed to me. It was adorable. But no, that was a couple months ago when that happened. More like teenagers not wanting me around because of previous boyfriends. So yeah. I'm going to get a very little amount of time with her, mostly just at work for the next couple of years, probably. So that's going to be a little rough, but it's okay. She's totally fucking worth it. So I still get to see her at work. So I figure it's a bonus,
Well, I can get it. And, especially if they've, maybe had bad experiences with some previous boyfriends and that.
They did, and their dad. And
yeah, I've been in that situation.
Like, and I don't blame them. It just makes me sad,
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
just was hoping.
hopefully they
had
have the
this
chance
hope
to get
in
to
my
know you
heart
slowly.
that it would be like the best thing. You know what I mean? And it's for them, it's not the best thing. So it makes me sad that they're not more interested in getting to know me. Like they're both like whatever kind of thing. So yeah, it hurts a little bit, but that's okay. It's just because they don't know me, and I understand that. They know a shred about me, and it's just how it is right now. But that's all right. Yeah, JR, sleep well and have a great night. And I love you too, buddy. And I'm gonna end this here in a minute anyways. So
Okay, good night, JR.
Yeah, it's 9:15. I think I'm gonna go to bed early. I am tired, but it was a great conversation. And Perps, thanks for coming on, and you know, you had a lot to say tonight, so I appreciate it. Love the honesty.
Well, I'm just glad my headset held together.
Me too. Oh, you said, did you find one online you want? And can you get it? Do you need some money or something?
Well, I
I
ordered
have
it
a
on
couple bucks I can.
Thursday and just waiting for it to be delivered yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, fortunately, because I've got a half dozen people who have subscribed to me on Patreon, that the
Yeah.
money's been accumulating in that account for a couple of months,
Aw.
so it was enough to cover the
Aw.
new headset.
Oh, good then. That's perfect. That's exactly why it's good to have that account, right?
Yep.
Because if people give you a couple bucks here and there and you just wait, it'll add up and you can get that equipment you need to keep streaming. So I'm glad. And when are you getting it in? You said Thursday?
It was supposed to have been delivered by now, but it got delayed. So,
okay. Well,
I expect it'll probably be here tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. At least you'll be able to stream Wednesday and Thursday. So that's good. That's great. So, Perps, thanks for coming. I truly appreciate you. All of you crazy, funny, hilarious, intelligent people that I love so much in the chat. Thank you so much for coming. I always mean it. And every time I say it, and I will continue to say it, that I appreciate you guys and I do love you all. So everybody remember, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and have some peace in your life.